as slow as molasses. But here goes. We're going to start from we're going to go clockwise here. So starting with you, Vito. Number one fact or fiction, Big James, please.
Oh, listen. There ain't no ducking or dodging nobody. It's time for fact or fiction. All right, here
That
we go.
is,
Number one.
say that's a
Tim
fact.
Tim Zoo versus Virgil Ortiz Jr. on August 3rd will steal the show in LA and prove to be a Fight of the Year candidate. Fact or fiction?
I'd say that's a fact. That's definitely two high tempo guys, exciting fighters whenever they step in the ring. So yeah, I think there's potential for that to be Fight of the Year, at least a Fight of the Year candidate for sure.
Ronnie, do you concur with your
Yes,
mentor or your apprentice, so to speak?
yes, I do. I do concur with that. I think this is a great fight. Virgil, since he's moved up in weight, I know he feel like he's going to be a lot stronger. But Tim Tszyu, man, Tim Tszyu he's a great fighter, and he had a string of bad luck, in his last fight against Fundora. But this kid, he can really go. So I'm thinking this is going to be a great fight.
I tell you what, are you a bit surprised, Vito, that Tim, boy, he's electing to come right back very quickly after that nasty gash on his head and jumping right back into the Lions Den against 21-0 with 21 knockouts, Virgil Ortiz Jr.
I wouldn't say I'm surprised. Obviously, you see the kind of mentality he has. A lot of guys wouldn't even have maybe taken that fight with a guy like Fundora in that short of notice, knowing that he was that tall. Uh, I would say Tim Tszyu was like training for the, you know, complete opposite style. So, but he's got that old time mentality. He'll fight whoever, whenever. And just that gash on his head, you don't know how well it's healed, but I'm guessing, assuming that it could be healed pretty well if they took a fight on that notice.
Yeah, going back to you, let's put this away for a second. And we'll go to our second one before we actually bid Mr. Vito Mielnicki Jr., Mr. White Magic, a very good afternoon and a very good evening. But you know what? It's funny. You're 21 years old. Most guys, and I know a lot of prospects who love boxing, but their parents kind of put them into this and kind of push them a little too hard. And they've elected to take a step back. I know a couple prospects like that. And they're like, you know what? I want to live life. I want to go out on dates. I want to go to the prom. Do you think that they're actually, would you trade this life for any of that other stuff that everyone else does?
Absolutely not. I mean, I've been doing it since I'm 7, so that kind of stuff. Like, you're gonna have to sacrifice out on anything. Like, if you want to be great at anything, you know what I mean. Especially in this sport, you can't play boxing. So, I mean, I've sacrificed a lot throughout the years. Family time. I mean, I was away from my family for the past few months in training camp, but I'll have time to do all that later. For right now, I got to focus on my dream and my goals, and I know what it takes to get there.
So, we were excited when Ronnie first gave us the news a little while ago that he was going to start working with you and your dad. And we were excited. What has it been like working at the Sugarland Gym with a living legend, one of the elite trainers of this entire boxing community, Ronnie Shields?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a blessing. Ronnie's got something that I've always looked for in a trainer, and that's consistency. And you know what you're gonna get with Ronnie day in and day out. And I feel like that's why he's at where he's at. Just every day, brick on brick, just continues to build. And Ronnie, I want to just say thank you. From day one, brought me into the gym, like family, and we're gonna continue to grow, continue to get better and better. And I'm excited for this long journey ahead.
Well, I tell you what, you're starting off the Amazon Prime broadcast with a Big Ten rounder against Ronald Cruz. Ronnie, we were just talking about this earlier. That's your former fighter, isn't it?
No. I never trained
Am
Ronald Cruz.
it's not the same one.
I had Kent Cruz.
Oh, my apologies. That's Kent Cruz. My apologies. Gee, wow,
I was gonna say Ronnie's not telling me something.
no, I'm. My apologies, guys. I'm getting old, man. The first thing to go. Jeez, the brain. My goodness. Jeez. So, what do you know about Ronald Cruz, Ronnie? Is there anything you can tell us that won't spill the game plan away, or does it even matter? Is Vito just going to shine? Is he just going to be way too much for this kid?
Look, he's a guy with a good record, man, and anybody that
Mm-hmm.
steps in between them ropes, they can fight. Just simple
Mm-hmm.
as that. You don't get to a certain level, and you got to expect, the best from everybody at this level. So we can't just go in and take this guy lightly. We trained our butt off for this fight. Got a great game plan going, and our thing is that we just can't let anybody stop the train. We rolling, and we're not stopping. Nobody's going to stop us. We're going,
Yes,
and
sir.
we have a great game plan going, and we're gonna, our plan is to beat this guy up. I mean that's what we plan for. But take him lightly? No, absolutely not. This is why we train hard.
Yep, never that.
And there it is. So let's try this one more time, guys, shall we?
Hey, we ain't ducking and dodging nobody. It's time for Fact or Fiction.
That's better. Yeah. Thank you, Floyd. Let's move to number 3, Big James.
All right, here we go with number 3. Izzy Madrimov will shock the world on August 3rd and hand pound-for-pound king Terrence Bud Crawford his first professional loss, flooring him several times in the process. Fact or fiction?
Vito.
Who's answering me?
Yes, sir.
Fiction. I'll say fiction.
Yeah.
I'll say fiction, but it's a great fight. Um, I'm excited. Obviously, this is Terrence's first time at 54, but I'm gonna have to go with fiction on that. I don't really, haven't watched much of Madrimov, but knowing Terrence and knowing the level that he's on, I would put him up against anybody, at that level.
Very good. Now, Ronnie, we're going to save your answer and your fact or fiction response later on in the show. We want to give Vito one more, and it's number 2. We're jumping around here. Big James, number 2, sir.
Here we go. Number 2. Santos Saul Alvarez Barragan will end his KO drought and stop a very tough and competitive Jaime Munguia in the mid to late rounds. Fact or fiction?
I think I could go with a fact here. I think Canelo's offensive arsenal is a lot. He's got a great offensive arsenal, but I think it's more of the highlighted of like Jaime Munguia's defensive holes. I think he gets hit a lot, but then again, he's also got probably a good chin. He's Mexican. You don't know. You don't know what's gonna happen in that fight. So, but I'd say more fact than fiction. So I'll go fact.
Very good. I tell you what, we just hope for an explosive main event. Oh boy. We can't wait. This card is all balls. When you look at all the matchups, aside from yours, obviously, and aside from the main event, is there any other matchup that you're most looking forward to seeing after you take care of business on the undercard?
I saw Barrios is on the card, and I saw Figueroa was on the card. Those two guys are exciting to watch, but I know Figueroa personally, so I'd probably Figueroa's fight. He's always exciting.
Ooh, and he's going to be fighting Jesse Magdaleno, who is an awesome counterpuncher. I know he's a little long in the tooth, but we just saw this past weekend, you cannot count a tricky, heavy-handed counterpuncher out. Oh, boy. That leads us to our next one. Number 4, sir.
Here we go real
James.
quick. Number 4. After a shaky performance last Saturday night in front of a near sellout crowd in Fresno, Jose Ramirez cemented his chances of becoming Ryan Garcia's next opponent later this year. Fact or fiction?
Me? My answer?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'd say fiction, just because they're both under the same promotional banner, so I think that fight can happen. But it was an exciting fight, so anything that's exciting that sells, I mean, fights can be made. So I'd say fiction.
Who do you think he's going to fight? If you had to make a guess.
Wait, cemented is. Oh, then I mean fact. Then it's got to be a fact. If he cemented his chance, so yeah, I think he can fight Ryan Garcia next.
You know what? I think because of his shaky performance and because he looked vulnerable to that left hook and because he's a big ticket seller in Fresno, I think that's exactly who they picked, brother. In
Yeah,
fact,
exactly.
I should
Yeah,
say that
that's
in
what
my
I was.
Max
Yeah, for
Kellerman
sure.
voice.
Exactly. I agree. I agree. It makes sense.
So that leads us to our final one with Mr. Vito Mielnicki Jr., number 5.
Here we go. Devin Miles Haney will sit out the rest of the year to heal from the extensive damage he received from Ryan Garcia. Fact or fiction?
I think fact. I think that makes sense. I think it makes sense. I'll just say that. I think it makes sense.
So were you a bit surprised, as I'm sure 99% of the boxing community was? You weren't. You're shaking your head no. What did
No.
you see that no one else did, sir?
No, I just know. I don't know. I was saying to everybody. It's gonna sound like some people were saying it, but I was actually telling everybody that Ryan Garcia. I mean, he was training. Obviously, some of the things he was doing with saying he was drinking and everything. He could leave that out, but he wants to be authentic and everything to the fans. But I don't know. I just saw that, especially in the fight, he had Devin walking forward and was honestly just he knew that Devin was gonna open up, walk into shots instead of Devin boxing like he always does. But I thought that they went in with a good game plan. But I thought before the fight, I even thought that he was gonna win. I don't know. I just had a feeling, just weird feeling.
Well, I'll tell you what, that proved to be prophetic. Maybe you're related to my mother because she has these feelings all the time and they always come to fruition. Holy, is that why they call you White Magic, brother? I tell you what, James, do you have anything more for the young phenom, sir?
No, we're just looking forward to him in action coming up here on Saturday against Ronald Cruz. So, yeah, you're going to have your final preparations here over these next couple of days, and I'll see if I'll be able to see you out there this week.
For sure. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
James
guys.
is going to be there in Las Vegas, Nevada. Let me say, I've got a feeling. I'm going to say this. I think what's going to be a shocker and a very surprisingly competitive contest in which you may see Ronnie's former fighter and Montes Staniones get hurt. And that's against the big punching Venezuelan. Oh, Gabriel Maestre, the former Olympian. He only has like 6 or 7 pro fights, but this guy has almost 500 amateur contests under his record. I think that one is going to be a shockingly great all-action fight. What say you, brother?
I agree. I think that's going to be a great fight as well. I think 2 action-packed guys, and heavy. They're both heavy-handed too, so it should be exciting.
Well, I tell you what. Let's just hope Gilberto Mendoza Jr. didn't pick out the judges this time. Yeah. But anyway, I tell you what. Thank you very much. Any parting shots for our listening audience here?
Just tune in on Saturday night, Amazon Prime. It's going to be a great fight. I'm going to expect a dominant performance. We put all the work in the gym. Now it's time to put the work to work on Saturday night. So tune in.
Woo! Guys, that was the White Magic, Vito Mielnicki Jr. Brother, we are going to be tuned in and we're going to be looking forward to you and Ronnie putting on a show against poor Ronald Cruz.
Thank you,
Hey,
guys.
don't be too hard on him, brother. No,
Thank you,
that.
guys.
Give him hell, man.
Can't promise you that, but
God bless you, brother. And we hope we can have you back very soon to do a victory lap after this awesome pay-per-view in which it's going to do. Oh, first of all, last thing. What is your projection for the pay-per-view numbers on Saturday night? Do you think it's going to do even better than Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney did this 2 weeks ago?
I don't know. I think like we talked about, it's an exciting main event, an exciting card. Cinco de Mayo weekend, two Mexican warriors going at it. So you never know. We'll see.
I'll take that as a big yes. Woo! Thank you, Vito. God bless you, brother. Say hello and say thank you to your father as well. You guys are doing a great job, and we can't wait to see you work on Saturday night. Guys, tune into the undercard on the Amazon Prime before the pay-per-view portion starts. Vito Mielnicki Jr., thank you, sir. Thank you for being
Thank
here,
you.
brother.
Thank you.
God bless
All
you,
right,
brother. Good luck.
See you later.
See you tomorrow. See you tomorrow.
And there it is. There it is. Woo! I tell you what, I am excited for this card, brother. This is a great one. And Ronnie,
Yes, sir.
you're a busy man lately, brother.
Oh man, absolutely. Our gym is like a zoo, man.
Well, they need to start calling your ring what it looks like, a corral from all those wild ass animals in there in the gym.
We have plenty. We have plenty, man. We have
boy,
fights every week.
Oh
We
my
have fights every
gosh.
week. Fridays and
Holy
Saturdays.
cow. And
We got
dude,
fights this Friday and Saturday.
Man.
Philip had to beat up my poor heavyweight. He's not going to have anything left this Friday in San Antonio at the Scottish Rite Temple. Boy, I'm not going to tell you on the air publicly what he told me, but yeah. Would you like to say anything about that? Is that a testament as to how sharp and awesome Philip is looking right now?
Well, we're not in shape yet. We're just
boy.
starting. This is our second week in the sparring, so we did a good 6 rounds today, 8 on Thursday and 10 on Saturday. But he's following the game plans, so that's always a plus.
And there it is. There it is. We're referring to Filip Hrgović, the Croatian sensation, beating around my boy Terrell Herron, who's going to be in the main event this Friday evening at the Scottish Rite Temple in San Antonio, Texas. I'm going to be right there ringside, guys. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be doing, ring announcing or doing the commentary, but I will be there, guys, this Friday. And in the main event of the evening, Terrell Herron going to be taking on undefeated heavyweight prospect Rudy Ruru Silvas. Now, that's like the appetizer. Ronnie, you dirty bugger, you didn't tell us anything about your man David Morrell Jr. getting the big assignment on the Saudi card in LA August 3rd. Are you excited to get David back in the ring?
Absolutely. He's moving up to light heavyweight for this fight, and he's looking forward to a new weight division. And he may or may not go back down to 68, but he just want to test the waters, see what it feels like at 175. And we got a good opponent in front of us, Hot Rod. This kid, I've been knowing him for a while now from Miami. And, it's a good, tough fight for him. So we're looking forward to it, though.
Oh, boy, I tell you what, I can't wait to see. Who's he facing again, Ronnie? What's his name, James?
Well, we call him Hot Rod.
But
that's right.
Hot Rod.
That's right. What is your scouting report? Because you saw him up close and personally. He just whooped on poor old man Sullivan Barrera in Florida.
I mean, you had like a couple of moments there from Barrera, but he was, more of a guy that, wanted to just land a big shot. And, him having that extended layoff against a guy in Kalajic who had been part of those Pro Box TV cards, a few times already, that was just a sign of doom there for Sullivan Barrera. And then, as you've seen, it ended in a knockout there in the 10th and last round. Kalajic has been, getting some good work in there over at Pro Box, but this is a completely different step in class. They're going up against David Morrell Jr.
Oh, boy, I tell you what, Mr. Haney, good afternoon. You learned something here? Do you see how Vito Sr. passed the baton off to a real trainer, an elite level guy like Mr. Ronnie Shields? Are you watching that? Yeah. Learn something from that, my friend. Thank you, Bill, for being here. Yeah. Guys, come on. It's not the real Bill Haney. Chihuahua. Guys, before we move forward with Fact or Fiction, well, James, do you have anything else? Anything else you'd like to ask? Because he's got so many fighters right now that are so busy. But one of the names that we haven't heard from at all has been Maul Charlo. Anything coming up for Maul?
Not at the moment. Not at the moment. They're working on some things for him. So we're just waiting to see what's going to be, the next assignment.
Well, I tell you what, James, you broke the news on a story yesterday. Would you like to talk to Ronnie about it?
Oh, okay. In reference to our guy, Floyd Schofield Jr. Of course, he's one of those guys, young, top lightweight contender there. It looks like he may be in line to be part of the card that is July 20th at the AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. And the potential opponent would be Ashton H2L Silva. So that's pretty much looking like what's going to happen. That's going to be a great fight there in the lightweight division.
Your thoughts, Ronnie?
Great. I mean, that's great. That's great.
You haven't heard anything about that?
I haven't heard anything yet. I mean, normally they call me when it's confirmed. So, I don't know if it's confirmed yet. So, but they definitely will call once it's confirmed.
Very good. Well, we look forward to that because Ashton Sylvie, he's 11-0 with 9 knockouts, but he will be stepping up in class big time against Floyd Schofield Jr. in front of 80,000 fans at AT&T Stadium, home of your Dallas Cowboys, and in front of tens of millions watching around the world. It's kind of sound like Buffer there. On Netflix. Are you excited about the prospect of this guy possibly stealing the show on July 20th?
Well, they definitely. I mean, he has the possibility. I mean, he has the capabilities to steal the show. That's for sure. But all eyes would have been on Mike Tyson and Jake Paul.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Speaking of which, and this is why I wanted you to bring it up, James. It's a nice segue because it's not in fact or fiction, but the news, Ronnie, and something that we've already known about on this channel, that this was indeed going to be a sanctioned bout, but for some reason they're announcing it as news, but we've already been talking about it. But 14-ounce gloves, 2-minute rounds. And do you think they should have 5-minute intermissions in between each round?
They're going to need it.
Your thoughts on this going on both fighters' resumes?
Well, how many rounds is this going to be? 8 rounds?
8 rounds, sir.
8?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So, it's, Mike is going to have 2 game plans in this fight. Because if he goes out and try to get him out early, and he don't get him, he's going to have to be in great shape to finish. The good thing is Mike has so much experience in this, and Jake Paul doesn't. Jake is not going to know when Mike is resting, and that's going to be a key to it. Can he apply the pressure to Mike Tyson if Mike is backing up off of him? Or do he just keep on trying to move around to try to stay away? If he does that, Mike is going to get all the rest in the world. And it's going to be easy for Mike. But if Jake make him fight the whole time, but he just got to stay away from them bombs, because trust me, them bombs are coming.
Oh yeah. And here would be my question, reference to this fight also. Who does it benefit more that this will have 2-minute rounds? Would it be Jake or would it be Tyson?
Tyson. Look, Tyson, though, been fighting 3 minutes his whole life. So 2 minutes is a gimme for him. And I don't care if he was 90 years old. 2 minutes is a gimme for Mike,
Yeah.
you know, because he knows how to win around and take off. Win around and take off. Jake don't know that yet. He not that experienced. He don't know how to do that.
Mm.
Mm. Wow. You know what, guys? Call me crazy. I am really looking forward to this event. And I'm sorry. Right now, if you're looking at the boxing calendar this summer, boxing is straight fire, guys. Dana White ain't got feces on boxing right now. Woo! I love it, guys. It is a great time to be a fight fan. Before we move forward and get Ronnie's thoughts, because this is the reason why I can't stand skipping a week. Because now we have to pick your brain and get your thoughts on Devin Haney getting that ass whooped by Ryan Garcia. Woo! Boy, I tell you what. But so hold that thought, Ronnie. Want to say hello to our dear friends in the chat. My brother G Funky. Good evening to you, sir. And guys, if you haven't already, please go subscribe to my brother G Funky Boxing. Did a great job with me last night, and I had fun being the Ed McMahon for once on the Rick Glazier show last night on his channel. Go check it out after this. King Rye. Question for the panel. Have you guys heard King Rye's new song? Yes, and we wish we hadn't. Jeez. But I will say this, Ronnie. This guy, is he indeed the new face of boxing?
I don't know if he's per se the new say. I mean, you know, it's hard to be the new face of boxing when you won one fight, that one big fight, you know. And I mean, it's just so hard. I think Canelo is still the face of boxing, but the new face of boxing, you know, I mean, he's up and coming new face of boxing right now.
Now, by your reaction, I'm pretty good at this. I can tell you can't stand getting that question, can you?
I mean, you know, look, to call him the new face of boxing, you know, it's not like he haven't been around, you know, he's been around, you know. But, you know, the new face of boxing can't win one fight and become the face of boxing. It just don't work that way.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yes, thank you. And yeah, I can't stand getting that question either. So I just thought I'd sound like a fan on Twitter right about now. Jeez, I don't know why I did that. Adolfo Horta, welcome to the show, sir. Salute Joseph, James, and the Ronnie Shields. Also, Vito, salute, champ. You know what? Tell you what a fascinating, mature beyond his years, it seems. Is that the case with Vito Mielnicki Jr.?
Oh, man, I'm telling you something, man. This kid, he's the first one in the gym, the last one to leave. I mean, I'm telling you, man, this kid works hard, you know, and we have to slow him down sometimes, you know, because he just continuously work on things, you know, say, hey, man, you got a life, you know, that's okay. Stop thinking about boxing for a little bit, you know. He you know, everything, man. This kid, I'm telling you, man, it's like no other. He just continuously, and you know, if I show him something to do, he's gonna work on it repeatedly, every single day. And that's what I love about it. You know, it's no problem with, you know, push him hard sometimes, and you know, and we just go until we get it right. You know, and I love that. And he, you know, he never complains about anything. You know, sometimes with other guys you get complaints, but not with Vito, man. This kid, he wants this so bad, you know. And you know, we're gonna do everything in our power to make it happen for him too.
And there it is. There it is. We have a quick question real quick before we say hello to our dear friend Bomac, Brian McIntyre. I see it there, brother. He says, Deuce. He goes, White Magic, Vito. And he also says, is Vito still with PBC?
Yes.
He's going to be fighting on this card. I think the confusion came up when he fought on his dad's promotion earlier
Yeah.
this year, or was it late
Well,
last year?
no, it was in December.
That's
It was
right.
in December. His dad had a show on the zone, and he fought the
Yeah.
main event on the zone, but
Yeah.
not on television.
That's right. That's right. Thank you very much, Deuce, for being here, my friend. And Charles says, "Good evening, Ronnie. How can Diaz hide that left hook so opponents don't know it's coming forward? Also, will we eventually see Diaz versus Zayas in the ring together?" Wow, what a question. Thank you, Charles.
Well, I don't want him to hide the left hook. I want him, everybody to
Yeah.
know he has that left hook. Then we could sneak other things in behind it or in front of it. And as far as Zayas is concerned, I don't know. That's not my call. But but let me tell you something, Taz is ready for anybody. And this was just his eighth
Wow.
fight, and this
Mhm.
kid, he can fight anybody.
That's right. He just had the big did it go to it wasn't it a decision victory, right, Ronnie?
Yep.
Yeah, what's the decision?
Clear.
After he dropped the kid didn't want to fight anymore. He ran the whole fight. Look, which you can't blame him for doing it. Taz was just too strong with both hands, and the kid wanted to survive, so he didn't take any chances. Otherwise, he would have got knocked out.
Very good. Very good. I tell you what, thank you for being here, Charles, and thank you for supporting the coach. Great question, brother. Keep them coming. Bomac in the house. Hey, brother, I hope you didn't bring your smoke wagon to the show. Put away that 6-shooter, brother.
What's up, bro, man?
He says, Coach Ronnie, hey, long time no see. And he
Man, we
says,
started
Vito.
chatting 2 weeks ago.
He goes, Vito, you're lucky Ronnie is one of the best coaches in boxing history. Here, here. I will
Appreciate
second
that, bro, Mac. So are you, bro.
Yeah. So bacon and eggs. Good day, guys. Good day to you, my friend. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Bill Haney once again. I can't take any more of that Haney slander. Come on now, man. And no, I'm not going to put down the link. Sorry. Here he says, Devin's here too. So y'all can ask Devin any questions y'all have. Oh, stop it, please, sir. Please. But thank you for being here. Oh, my friend, Heavy Bag Butch. Hey, Butch, how you doing, my friend? Salute, Mr. Aaron. Is Butch from across the pond? Yes, sir. Great work, and I hope you and your family have been blessed. I'll tell you what, we're always blessed when we get to meet with Coach Ronnie Shields, boxing royalty. Boy, I tell you what, it's a blessed life when we get to talk to the coach every single week. Let's see. Hold on. Sid, UK. Welcome to the show, sir, and thank you for always supporting the coach. He says, Joe, have you heard Turkey Al-Sheikh saying Wilder will face Big Baby Anderson in August if he beats Zhang? That leads us into, are you ready for this, Ronnie?
Let's go.
Let's see. Here it comes. Where is it? Come on now. I'm getting old. I can't even see this. Here we go. We're jumping to number 8, Big James.
All right, here we go. Deontay Wilder will not face Jared Anderson on August 3rd because he's getting KTFO by the Big Bang on June 1st.
Ooh.
Fact or fiction?
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, man, that's such a hard question right there. And the reason why it's so hard, right? Because looking at Deontay's last fight, and it just seemed like he was interested in boxing at all. And
Yeah.
he lose. Then all of a sudden now he's rejuvenated and he's back again. And he's talking good. But man, you know what? The thing about it this, right? Zhang is 40 years old, maybe 41 now. And I don't know, man. His last fight he didn't look too good to me. His last fight. But Deontay didn't look good at all either. So, I mean, to me, this is a pick'em fight, and I really believe it's going to end in a knockout. But I just don't know who.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing about it is, Deontay got the big right hand, and he can hurt Zhang. But Zhang got the big left hand and the hook, and he can hurt Deontay. Now, put it this way: Philip hit Zhang with a lot of good shots, and
Mm-hmm.
Zhang was still there. So
Yep.
that this is going to be a tough fight, man. I tell you. And because Deontay has the big right hand, I'm gonna say fact that if he lands it, he can really hurt Zhang and stop it. But
Mm.
Zhang can hurt him with the left hand and also.
Ah.
So
Mm.
that's a tough question, though, man. It really is.
You know what? Put it this way, Ronnie. I'll be very surprised if Deontay Wilder fights Big Baby Jared Anderson on August 3rd.
Well, it depends on who's promoting it.
Hmm.
If Top Rank is promoted, probably not. If the Sheik is promoted, hell yeah.
I'll tell you what, I think Luis Ortiz is going to step in and face Jared Anderson on that card instead. What do you think about that, sir?
That sounds good to me. And he better fight
James?
Luis Ortiz because hell, Ortiz 90 years old. Shit, why not?
Old Man River. James, who would you, in the event that Deontay Wilder can't step in and fight Big Baby, who do you think is the most fitting candidate at this time in the heavyweight division?
Ooh, well, I mean, I could.
Right, Sanchez?
Yeah. If not him, then I get Cabello.
Oh, Cabello. He had a great showing in December now, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
Ooh, yes. I would, you know what? Sign it up, man. You need a job as a matchmaker, brother. That was beautiful. That was quick, too, right off the top, brother. I'll take it. I will take it. Number 6. We're jumping around, Coach.
All right, here we go. Number 6. Trainer Andre Rozier is absolutely correct when he states that David Benavidez will not defeat 175-pound unified champ Artur Beterbiev. Fact or fiction?
Man, that I'm gonna have to say fact on that one, just because of how big and strong Beterbiev is, and Benavidez stands right in front of you, and wants to trade with you the whole time, because he throws a lot of punches. I think he may feel that he can back Beterbiev up, which I don't think he can, and I just don't see it. I mean, I really and truly don't. I think Beterbiev is strong as hell, and he can hit you with one shot and get you out of there. But Beterbiev ain't worried about Benavidez right now. Trust me, he's worried about Bivol.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what. I need to show this. Forgive me, Deuce, for not seeing this comment earlier. But Deuce says this. You know what? Vito getting with Ronnie was the best thing that could have happened. He has the skills. He fell in love with his power, though, and forgot about his fundamentals in that early loss. Would you agree with that assessment?
I mean, I agree to. I agree to it. Because I did watch a lot of Vito's fights before I start training him, and I saw some things that he really needed to work on. And the one thing was defense. And I think, in the loss that he had, he just wasn't prepared right for that fight. He just wasn't ready, And sometimes with these youngsters, you have to know when they're ready all the time, and he just wasn't ready for that. I think he might have, I don't know this because I don't talk negative to any fighter, and especially the ones that I train. And so, I don't know if he took this kid lightly because of his record, but he definitely wasn't the Vito that you see now. The Vito that you see now would knock this kid out that he lost to.
I tell you what, guys, he's starting off the Amazon Prime televised portion of the show, whetting your appetite for the big pay-per-view. He's fighting Ronald Cruz. Can't wait, guys. I cannot wait for this card on Saturday. It's going to be straight fire from start to finish, guys. I love it. I love it. Let's see. We already did that one. Hold on. Steph Brown, welcome to the show, sir. Be well. JB, Joseph, and Ronnie. Thank you, gents. No, thank you for supporting the coach on this fine Tuesday. And my brother, Jonathan Simon. Good to see you, my friend. Hope you're doing well, sir. Joseph and Coach Ronnie, blessings. It's been a minute. How is Maul doing?
He's doing good.
Very good. He also says this. Wilder wouldn't have been in this position if he had the great Ronnie Shields training him, period. You know what? I concur, brother. You know what? Or let's just face it. Let's be honest. If he still had Mark Breland, come on now.
Yeah.
Am I joking about that? Am I lying, James?
Oh no, you're not. Like,
Look,
Breland,
I love the league.
Breland is the perfect coach to have someone like Deontay Wilder. You know.
Yes.
I don't see why he would kind of like dip off. You know, after just one thing of or one setback. So, but hey. Sometimes that happens in boxing, knee-jerk reactions. So,
well, especially in the heavyweight division, nothing but a bunch of prima donnas here in American heavyweights. That's why you're training all the Croatians and the Eastern European heavyweights, brother. We know. Charles says, why doesn't Big Baby just fight Frank Sanchez? Because he's a badass and he's a southpaw and he's a Cuban. And he's too much risk for the reward because he couldn't sell out my living room on a Saturday night.
Well, you got that, and then also, I would also say they seen Top Rank seen what happened when Efe Ajagba faced Frank Sanchez. So yeah.
Well, we all know why they're not putting together Jared Anderson versus Efe Ajagba. Come on, guys. Although I will say this, Ajagba didn't look bad. Put it this way, that fight wasn't bad. It was a very competitive fight.
Right, yeah.
But since leaving the great Ronnie Shields, have you noticed any improvement, James?
No, nah.
I'm serious. He hasn't gotten any better. Ronnie, are you surprised about that? I know you've seen it.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've seen a lot of stuff that he's doing, is levels to this game. And, you have to step it up. Once you learn something at the beginning, that's not going to last you your whole career. You got to step it up, keep stepping it up notches, and I don't know, he's not learning that. He's not using different things that he should be using. Put it that way. And I don't know. They could be teaching it to him, but if they are, he's not getting it.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this: he's not your problem anymore. Isn't that nice?
Absolutely.
Woo! Sid says Ergovich would be the best opponent after he knocks Dubois out if Wilder loses. What say you, Ronnie?
Who are we talking about?
Jared Anderson.
Oh, Jared
I know
Anderson.
what you're going to say.
Well, here's the thing, right? Phillip wants to fight the best out there. So, and Jared haven't proven himself yet that he's one of the best out there. We are looking at big fights. We're looking at the winner of Fury Usyk and Anthony Joshua.
And there it is, guys. There it is. So all this talk about Wilder, Joshua, no. We got the Croatian sensation on tap for Anthony Joshua. Sorry, guys. Steph Brown says, I got Beevil Crew. It's tough. Arthur is a true pound-for-pound champion, but I am taking Beevil in this one. He is absolutely a master in the center of the ring. That's what makes this fight so intriguing. It's virtually a coin flip. Guys, that's why we're all going to be dialed in June 1st. Now, where were we? Here it goes. Number 9. And we're jumping around in this one, Coach.
All right, here we go. Number 9. The entire country of Japan will fall into a deep depression when Luis Neri knocks out Naoya Inoue on May 6th. Fact or fiction?
And he's laughing.
Fiction.
Ooh.
That's definitely fiction. You know,
Oh
look,
boy.
I mean, I think they would be if that were to happen, but I don't see it. Neri is not that puncher. You know, and let me tell you something. Inoue, I don't see anybody beating this kid.
Mm.
I mean, nobody. This guy is dialed in. You know, and the thing about him, he's different every fight.
Mm.
He's not the same guy every fight. You know, he disguises his punches really well, and
Yep.
this is what you have to do when you get at a certain level. You know, because now Neri is a smart guy, so I'm sure they got disguises for him. You know, that he haven't seen before, and this is what you have to do. This is how you step up your game. You know, and and I just don't see it. I just don't see Neri coming near close to knocking out Inoue.
Yeah, look, he had some power at 118, right?
Yep.
But 122?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Very good. There it is. Yeah, I don't think Neri has the pop to get his attention, and also
No.
he's it's hilarious. You're gonna see this. After May 6th, you're gonna see everyone, Inoue's the top pound for pound guy until August 3rd comes around. And then everyone's gonna say, oh, Terrence Crawford's a pound for pound guy. And it almost like you can't make up your mind. If you had to guess, Ronnie, who is the best pound for pound fighter in boxing? Is it Terrence Crawford? Is it Naoya Inoue?
You know, I have to say Terrence Crawford. I really and truly believe in Terrence Crawford, man. He fights everybody. He ducks no one. He fights nothing but the best, man. And so does Inoue, but Crawford is a master at what he does. And he's so hard to beat. It's so hard to figure him out. And this is what I'm saying. How guys, like we're talking about Ajagba haven't found his way yet. He's still searching, but Crawford, man, every fight he shows you something different, and this is, not just, this is his team. His team, everybody is stepping up and helping him in this way and in that way, and he believes in them. And so, this is what you have to do in order to get in that position. And I just don't see nobody beating Terrence Crawford right now.
Yeah. So I guess we get your answer from number 3, James.
There it goes. So, I guess Izzy Madrimov will not shock the world on August 3rd and hand pound for pound king Terrence Bud Crawford his first professional loss.
I glanced at this guy a little bit. How you say his name?
Israel Madrimov.
Yeah. Madrimov. I glanced at him. He don't have that many fights, but I know he got somebody said like 500 amateur fights or whatever. But this kid, I mean, look, he can punch and he's good, but Crawford know how to take that away. He know how to get away from punches like that, and he knows when to pick up the pace and when not to. He knows everything, man. And I just don't see this guy. I think Terrence, man, this guy is going to be stronger because of the weight. Because Crawford, is moving up in weight, but Crawford's going to be slick, and his defense is spot on, and his offense is just everything. So it's going to be more like, this guy needs to figure out Terrence Crawford because, Crawford's going to fight in both stances. So you have to train both ways. And, and Crawford is just good at that. So, if you figure him out one way, okay, you're going to switch to the other way. Now you got to figure that out too. And
Oh,
while he's trying to
jeez.
figure it out, he's going to be losing round after round after round.
So I feel like Dennis Hopper on speed right now. Pop quiz, hotshot. How do you actually prepare for camp to train a fighter to defeat Terrence Crawford, or even just prepare for what he's going to see in the ring that night?
Well, I mean, you have to have sparring partners, right-handed and left-handed. You have to have
Oh,
both.
jeez.
You do. You have to have both. I mean, that's just as if you want to win. If you don't care, then you just pick one or the other.
Yeah. Roll the bones.
But no, I mean, but if you're preparing, you got to prepare for both orthodox and southpaw. You just have to do it. And it's not easy. Trust me, it's not easy because Crawford
Wow.
has a great defense both ways. So you have to, so much you have to do when you prepare for a guy like Terrence Crawford.
And that brings us up to our next step. Look, now, because you stated that, Coach, and that's the daunting task that Derek James had last year going into July 29th. So it makes it that much worse when you hear the lawsuits that have just been filed, right, in Dallas County, in which Derek James files suit against his former pupil, Errol Spence Jr., suing him for back pay for over $5 million plus interest. And after that, after that well thought out response, he's justified in seeking that now, isn't he? Because that is just wrong.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of deal they had with each other, but fighters have to understand that pay-per-view is a part of the purse.
Mm.
You don't just train for your purse on that night. When you get money besides that, they're still part of the purse. And that's the understanding that I've always had with everybody, that you understand that, that it's still part of the purse. Pay-per-view is not that's something extra. That's not extra. It's not. You get a guaranteed amount on your purse, which is true. You get a guaranteed amount. But it's extras that come behind you fighting on pay-per-view. And and you're supposed to get paid off of that. I remember a while back when I was with Holyfield and I was training underneath George Benton. Well, a similar situation happened. And George Benton, he didn't have a dispute with Holyfield. He had a dispute with Main Events because Main Events took the money from Holyfield and was supposed to pay George Benton, and they didn't do it.
Oh, boy.
And here's how it happened, just through casual conversation.
Wow.
Between George Benton and Holyfield. Holyfield asked him, "Did you get your money?" And George said, "Yeah, I got my purse money. Yeah, I did." He said, No, I'm not talking about that. He said, "I'm talking about the pay-per-view portion of the money. Did you get that?" And George was stunned. He didn't know what Evander was talking about.
Wow.
And so, make a long story short, they settled out of court with George for $1 million.
Well, I have a feeling they're going to settle on something remotely close to that, but it's not just going to be $1 million. Because
but we're talking 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I tell you what, that's called standard business practice, isn't it, Ronnie?
Oh, without a doubt, man, without a doubt. The crazy thing about it is, is that these two guys have been together from the very beginning, you know. And if you make it, you want to make sure that your team makes it, you know. It's a part of principle also. It's not just it's not just, you know, if I've been with you all of this time and I've been looking after you, making sure you're in shape, you're ready to go, you're doing great in your fights and you're winning, you're world champion and this and that and y'all close and all of a sudden when it comes time to get paid, you don't pay me.
Mm.
That hurts.
Especially when going back to the beginning, if you've been with Errol Spence, if you've been with a fighter as long as Derek James has been with Errol Spence, virtually fighting him or training him, sacrificing all of his time away from his family when he wasn't making diddly. 10% of what? 4 round, 6 round, 8 round? That's why you invest the time, because you believe in the kid in hopes that it eventually pays off.
Oh, without
Ronnie,
doubt,
how
man.
many fighters do you train? Have you ever trained that have made it to that money-making pinnacle that Errol Spence just hit?
Yeah, I mean, it's again, the thing about it is that, everybody don't get to that level.
Mm-hmm.
There's very
Yeah.
few get to that level in this sport, and once you get there, you can't forget nobody,
Yep.
because you didn't get there by yourself, you know. It took time, a lot of time. It takes a lot of patience, you know. It takes a lot of grind, a lot of grit to get to that level. And you don't get that by yourself. But, you know, unfortunately, you know, boxing again, you know, it has a bad side, you know.
Oh
Yeah.
And
boy.
unfortunately, it's us in the game that makes it the bad side, you know.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that we kill ourselves, you know. And, you know, I don't know, man. It's hard when you get close to a person and you do anything for that person,
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, a lot of guys that I've trained, when they first start off for boxing, and they first get their money, I don't take a dime, man, because it's not a lot of money at the beginning. And I go through fight after fight after fight doing it for nothing. And
Mm-hmm.
then, they appreciate that. But then when they start making money, they forget everything,
Oh
you
boy.
know, and it happens, and it's a shame that, we call ourselves a fraternity until it's time to get paid.
Oh boy. Money is indeed the root of all evil. And I tell you what, Ronnie, James, I'm speechless after hearing that. That is one hell of an article right there. Thank you, Ronnie. But I will say this, that puts a lot of, and I'm almost glad that this is being made public, because it sheds a light on a very long dilemma that's been happening within the world of boxing. And Ronnie, you're one of the lucky ones, because you've got Mike Miller right there. Most trainers aren't that lucky. Well, tell you what, let's just hope for the best. But can you imagine hearing this if you're Derek James? Man, I don't know what you're talking about, man. I'm the big fish. That was back end. You ain't getting none of that. Can you
Yeah,
imagine that? Oh, Chingo.
it's a shame. I feel sorry for both of them, man. I
I
do,
do. Yeah.
because, you know, they both are really good guys. And you hate to see that, man. And I just hope they could, just one day just come to and say, man, you know what? Errol just come to him and say, hey, man, here's your money, you know, and then squash it because, really and truly, they're good for each other.
Well, can you squash this rumor, Ronnie? Because I know you're dear friends with Al Heyman. Can you squash this rumor that Al Heyman advised Errol Spence to stiff Derek James?
The Al Hammond I know would never say that. Would never tell him to do anything like that. So, I don't know. I don't know what Al he's talking about. So,
Maybe Al Bundy? I don't know.
Al
Definitely
Green,
not
I
Al
don't
Heyman.
know, man.
James, your thoughts before we move forward, sir, because this is such a perplexing issue, and it's time. Because Don always told me when I just started in this business, Don Chargan, God rest your soul. He said, "You know what, Joseph? Be careful if you work directly for these guys, because fighters will break your heart if you allow it."
Yep.
And when I started doing PR, boy, that was exactly the case, and to the point where I couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't do it anymore. I just couldn't handle it. Couldn't take it.
Yeah.
With that said, guys, we're going to be featuring James and I are going to be interviewing tomorrow Austin, no doubt Trout, former WBA 154-pound champion. I can't wait for that. He's one of the best guys you'll ever meet in this business, not just in this business, but in life. He is such a great mentor to a lot of young fighters, and he's one of the few former champions that currently gives back to the sport that made him Austin No Doubt Trout. And once again, I couldn't ask, fighter couldn't ask for a better mentor. So we're going to be featuring Austin on tomorrow night's show. But on a lighter note, guys, we're running out of time. We have to go into the main event of the evening in just 1 second. But Jonathan Simon says, Ronnie, fantasy fight, who wins? Alexis Arguello, the tall, thin man, versus Salvador Sanchez.
I think Alexis would have been a little bit too strong for Sanchez.
Whoa.
That big right hand Alexis had.
Bite your tongue, young Ronnie.
Oh.
Bite your tongue, Ronnie. Oh, my gosh. Look, Puro Mexicano Holmes, maybe it's just that's what's coming out, but I can't imagine anyone beating Salvador Sanchez, Ronnie.
I do.
Yeah. Woo! That big right hand coming over top of the jab, right?
Yeah, buddy.
Oh, I tell you what I would pay to see that fight. Oh, speaking of paying to see fights, we're going to have to take a trip, James, to the Sugarland Gym. We need to see Vito Mielnicki spar with Andreas Katsourakis. I know you're not going to reveal anything, but I'm sure that's better than 99% of the fights that we see on TV, isn't it?
Oh, well, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Oh.
It's really exciting, man. It really is.
You need to start recording some of these, Ronnie.
Well, we do. We do. We record some stuff.
Uh-oh. Fight party. Juice, welcome to the show, sir. He says, yeah, I feel the number one pound for pound is Bud. He's a bad man, but I can't compare his plans to fight 3 non-title holders this year while Bud is chasing belts in a new division and wants a shot at Canelo. And it's impossible to argue with that. Juice says he's going to have his hands full, though. Beevil said Israel Madrimov was a better version of Canelo than he fought and revealed that Madrimov was his main sparring partner in preparing him to face the Cinnamon Boy. Oh, boy. That's a perfect segue after we say hello to our dear friend, Rasheem Brown. Welcome to the show, sir, and thank you for supporting Ronnie tonight. Ronnie, do you think Jermell Charlo can still make 154 again?
I don't know. I don't know. I haven't seen him in a while. He probably could, because he's pretty good with his weight. He's pretty good. He's always been good at maintaining his weight. But when you be off of for a while, though, sometimes it's hard to get back down because your body's not getting older. I mean, younger. It's getting older.
That's true.
And
that's true.
And it's so hard sometimes. But if he kept in shape, if he's working out, then it shouldn't be a problem for him.
There it is. Rasheen also says, Ronnie, have you heard of those twins named the Grandy twins from Houston?
You know what? I have heard about them. I've never seen them before, but I have heard about them, and
Mm,
I've seen some stuff on them on YouTube.
Mm. Well, I'll
yeah,
tell you what. How old are they?
17. I think around 17. They actually had a recent fight over in Colombia. Actually,
Mm. Mm. Well, I'll tell you what. Look, I'll be looking for him. Hello, Galvez. Welcome to the show, sir. Ronnie, how do you train these boxers that don't speak any English? Something like Lara or Rigondeaux, especially during the actual fight. How do you wing that?
Well, I speak enough Spanish to do the pads with them, stuff like that. But in a fight, I do have an interpreter in the corner.
So he just knows two words. Ándale, muchacho. And also, this is a good one. Cállate. Cállate su boca. Ronnie knows all about that. So
Yeah.
here it is. Here's the big one, Ronnie. Number
right.
2. Go ahead,
Canelo
James.
Alvarez will end his KO drought and stop a very tough and competitive Jaime Munguia in the mid to late rounds. Fact or fiction?
I think it's a fact. You know, just watching Munguia, he's a guy that comes forward all the time. You know, you don't like to take a backward step. That's problems for a guy like a Canelo Alvarez. You know, a Pivot, got to look at that fight. Pivot fought the perfect fight against a guy like Canelo. He went
Mhm.
forward at times and he backed up at times. Munguia don't know how to back up, and that's going to be his problem. He's going to run into a lot of stuff, some hard punches, because he puts enough pressure on you that where Canelo can sit down and be waiting on him,
Yeah.
Mm.
and he's going to pick him apart. You know, now I think Munguia early takes a lot of those shots early, but it's going to, you know, it adds up. You know,
Hmm.
and once Canelo started digging in the body, you know, the old saying, kill a body, the head will die.
Yep, that's it. Oh boy. So are you a bit surprised that the sexy bet, the late money, there's a lot of it that seems to be going towards Jaime Munguia? That seems to be the sexy pick among a lot of very knowledgeable people that I know. Are you
Well,
surprised? I'm
no,
sure
I'm
you've
not
heard
surprised.
similar.
I've heard it, you know, but I'm not surprised about it. You know, look, people trying to find excuses to get rid of Canelo. You know, I mean, people are just betting, hoping. They're betting through hope that Munguia beats Canelo. Simple. You know, I mean, I'm telling you, that's what it is. They're hoping that he don't have enough left in the tank. But from what I understand, he has some great. Canelo has some great sparring. But there's some good young guys coming at him. So
Mm,
he's going to be in shape like he always is. And and I just know that you know he's going to pick Munguia apart. I just know that he's going to pick him apart. I'd be really surprised if Munguia can land something that could hurt him. It's so funny that people are trying to compare Canelo versus Ryder to Munguia
mm.
versus Ryder.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
That just makes no sense to me. You know, it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense. You know, fighting Ryder, it was probably hard for Canelo to get out of bed, let alone train as hard as he trained for this fight. You know,
Mm.
and there's no saying styles make fights. With Canelo style, yeah,
Oh
Ryder,
boy.
Ryder was able to do some things because of his style. But
Hmm.
even Munguia has the same style. So of course Munguia is going to hit him more because he's right there fighting him to be hit. With
Hmm.
Hmm.
Canelo was the one standing on the outside boxing him. You know, he wanted to get the work in. That's all. He giving his fans, to see him go 12 rounds. Let him know he still got it. That's why he
Mm.
said afterwards, nobody beats this version of Canelo.
Mm.
And he's telling you, look, man, I could have stopped this guy if I wanted to. I just wanted to give our fans some work. That's all. Let them get their money's worth out of this fight. But now, when everybody is hyping up on Munguia, now you're going to see Canelo. He's going to be throwing shots that he didn't throw against Ryder. You're going to see him on Munguia.
Oh, boy. Tell you what, the plot thickens, James. Your thoughts on this? And I tell you what, it's hard for me now to try and justify after listening to that. Betting on Jaime Munguia.
Yeah. I mean, I've said, from a style perspective, Munguia isn't one that will have the defensive style that could give Canelo problems, and his offensive style is more of like a come forward, pretty aggressive type of style, which Canelo, loves, I would say, particularly in this point of his career, where he's more of a counterpuncher and waits for you to make a mistake, and then he'll sit on his punches to throw those hooks. He'll give that little. So I think with Munguia, he's not a guy that's a mover. And I'm just waiting to see, like, once Munguia hit with the first power shot, particularly upstairs, how he's going to react and if he's going to continue to come forward and have that offensive style, particularly with having Freddie Roach in his corner. They kind of like change things up a little bit for him, but I want to see how Munguia would adjust if he keeps getting caught with counter shots while he's coming forward early in the fight.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be interesting, though, guys, and I can't wait to see it. Once again, we've got Mario Barrios versus Fabian Maidana. That's a great matchup. Strong kid in Maidana. Good puncher. Yeah, it's going to be a great fight. Then you've got Figueroa, the Heartbreaker, Brandon Figueroa versus Jesse Magdaleno. And once again, go back and look at last week's fight, Ronnie. Everyone was stinking on that main event on Golden Boy on DAZN. And you remember that Fact or Fiction? I said, Rancis Barthelemy is going to pull off the improbable upset, the counterpuncher versus the aggressor. And everyone's like, oh, no, man, I can't believe he's still fighting. Hey, I almost looked like the soothsayer now, didn't I? Woo!
Almost don't win you nothing.
Oh, yeah. I know. Yeah. Day late and $1 short. Yeah. Oh, but let's go to this, guys. I've been waiting to hear what Ronnie has to say about this one. There it is.
All right. Devin Haney will sit out for the rest of the year to heal from the extensive damage he received from Ryan Garcia. Fact or fiction?
Fiction. He's a fighter. He's a fighter, man. He's coming back. He's going to come back. But it's not going to be against Ryan Garcia. There's no way Ryan Garcia is going to fight him again because, here's the thing that I hope don't happen is that Devin agree to fight him at a higher weight because that's not right for him. He can't win another fight at a higher weight. If Ryan can't make 140 pounds, then he just might as well forget about it. Because it doesn't make sense. And as a fighter, he's already seemed like he's accepted the loss. Okay, I lost this one, so now we have to move on. And that's what he has to do. He has to move on with his career, because if you don't move on, you're going to have regrets for the rest of your life. Look, losing is a part of the sport. It's how you come back from it, a loss that's going to make you a better fighter. So now he just has to get himself together, go back. He's the champion at the weight division. Go back. There's so many guys that's waiting in line. Get one of those guys. Show who you are. And just be Devin Haney. Don't worry about anything. Just be who you are. And you ain't got to worry about nothing else.
Wow. Now, were you a bit surprised that Ryan Garcia, now, once again, they said a bunch of nonsense. Ryan, look, Ryan actually stated this, and I promised I wouldn't talk about it on the air, but I'm going to anyway, and he'll forgive me, and I'll invite him on the show next week. Henry Garcia said that was a bunch of bull, that Floyd did not tell Ryan, right? And I'm referring to Ryan's dad, Henry Garcia. He didn't tell Ryan to intentionally lose or miss making weight by 3 pounds. They tried up until the day of the weigh-in, the morning of the weigh-in. And they just selected, you know what? It's not worth it. But none of this Floyd Mayweather. Did you hear that nonsense, Ronnie?
I did hear it from somewhere. I heard somebody say that, but yeah, I didn't believe that. You know, I didn't believe that at all. So, you know, I didn't. You know, if Floyd would have come out and say, "Yeah, I told him that," then I would believe it. But Floyd haven't come out and said anything. Ryan hadn't come out and said anything. So, you know, I don't know who putting this out, but you know, that just didn't sound right to me. That Floyd would have intentionally tell him to, you know, to not make weight. You know, if you look at Ryan is a big kid. It's not, you know, and so I can understand it's hard. It was hard for him to make this weight.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I understand that. But the thing that didn't make it look good is when you get up and you drink right before you step on the scale.
Oh boy.
That's what made it look bad. You know, it made it look, I don't give a damn. You know, that's what it made it look like. And, you know, we don't want people disrespecting our sport, but we do it ourselves. Why do we do it? You know?
Yeah.
And that's what doesn't sit well. But not just me, but with a lot of people, that he did that and didn't care that, you know, that he couldn't fight for the world title. You know how many guys would die to fight for the world title?
Indeed.
You know?
Yep.
People would die to make that weight just to have a chance to become champion of the world. You know?
That's a very good point, Ronnie.
So it's, you know, it's just, it didn't sit right with a lot of fighters that I know.
So why do you think the title seems to have lost its luster in this era of young, entitled, get that bag type fighters? Jeez.
Yeah, that's what it's about. Get that bag. That's what it's all about. You know, and, you know, it's funny that we don't want people to disrespect the sport, but we do it ourselves. You know, and, you know, back in the day, man, this would have never happened. Back in the day, you know, there's no one in the world that this would have happened. You know, and, you know, guys these days, they want to be something different. You know, and Ryan is a popular guy. He brings a lot to the sport. He brings a lot of eyes to the sport. He has a lot of fans, and he knows it. So it's like, I don't care. I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I'm gonna still bring the fans. And that's, you know, that's the problem. You know, that because he does bring the fans, and you know, but you know, he really is a good fighter, and he's a guy that you know, he's never won a world title.
Never.
And no, he's never won a world title. And you know, at the end of his career, if he doesn't ever win a world title, how's he going to feel about his accomplishment in the sport?
Yeah. Brother T, thank you for joining us, sir, and supporting the coach at this time. Says Ronnie is right. If Garcia hadn't done that, drinking the bottle of beer on the scale at the weigh-in, people wouldn't have been really talking about it that much. You know, perception is everything, guys, especially in the entertainment industry. It's like proclaiming to the world that you love your wife, then you cheat on her. It's not a good look, guys. You respect the sport. Ronnie is absolutely right, man. He comes from when, boxing was at a much healthier era. The 70s and 80s, that was the glory days.
Oh yeah,
It was the biggest sport on the earth. And winning a
absolutely.
major world title was the biggest prize in all sports.
Yep.
Ah, geez. Well, thanks a lot, Ryan. Thanks a lot, Jake Paul. So who's the bigger clown right now? Ryan Garcia, or Jake Paul?
I plead the fifth.
Oh, well said, my friend. Well said. So if you had to guess, hey, well, let's do this one. We need to get an answer from Coach. Number 4.
Here we go. Yeah, we're going back with this. After a shaky performance last Saturday night in front of a near sellout crowd in Fresno, California, Jose Ramirez cemented his chances of becoming Ryan Garcia's next opponent later this year. Fact or fiction?
That could be a fact. That could be a fact. Because look, all in all, you still have to find Ryan opponents that make sense. And this kid makes a lot of sense, Jose Ramirez. You know, um, and hopefully they do fight at 147 pounds because I think that's where Ryan belongs, at 147 pounds. Then we could see how he's going to do against a real welterweight.
Now, I have to bring this up. We haven't touched on this yet, and I know you know this gentleman. And this guy, he's a great guy, and he's a professional, or at least he was, but maybe not on the maybe not during the Ryan Garcia Devin Haney fight. And I'm referring to your friend Harvey Doc. What the hell happened, Ronnie?
Yeah, man. I guess we all are entitled to bad nights.
But that was a humdinger, Ronnie.
Yeah.
So this is what, earlier, before I get your thoughts, this is what Bernard Hopkins had to say on my friend Corey Bradshaw's channel, The Spit Bucket. He and his partner, JJ Solomon, they interviewed him and they asked him what he thought about Harvey Doc's performance. And Bernard had a mouthful to say, as usual. He said, let's be honest, and we have to be consistent. You've heard on black, like black on black crime, right? Well, this is, a black guy helping a black fighter. He said, let's just be honest. This was in the ring racism. Harvey Doc was helping out the little brother. First of all, being an ambassador in sport like WAW, why the hell would he say that? And 2, come on, Ronnie. Come on. He knows better, dude. Your thoughts on Bernard Hopkins' words saying that the fix was in Harvey Doc was intentionally trying to help Devin Haney?
Well, I don't see how he can intentionally help Devin Haney when he was getting hit with the left hooks all the time and getting hurt by them. I think Harvey Doc, as far as not stopping the fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
At some point, he could have stopped the fight. When he was asking
Yeah.
Devin questions and he wasn't getting the answers that he was looking for, he could have stopped the fight then. But, he was trying to let these guys continue. Because when you look at the fight, from 2 through 6, Devin was in the fight.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you see that and you're a referee, you have to try to be fair to everybody. Yeah, guys get hurt, but I go back to this fight because it's a prime example of when Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward fought. Right? Go back to that fight. That fight could have been stopped 3 times, maybe 4 times.
Cappuccino.
That fight could have been stopped. Frank Cappuccino, he knew both guys and he let them go because he knew that they have capability to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And if you go back and watch that fight, nobody ever complained about that fight. So why you
None.
complain about Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney? Because it's a black referee?
Yeah.
Come on, man. You know,
Oh, jeez.
Harvard Doc, he tried to give, they tell you from the very beginning, we're going to stay out of it, but but if we feel you can't go, then we're going to stop the fight. So maybe he felt that Haney could have kept on going. So this is why he didn't stop the fight. But again, go back to when, Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward fought. That fight could have been stopped 3-4 times. But
Yeah.
he let it go because he knew both guys.
You know what? And I was actually shocked because usually in New York, since the Magomed Abdusalamov tragedy, usually they've got a quick trigger finger. And that's why a lot of guys don't like to fight in New York.
Yeah.
But you know what?
True.
You know what? I love the idea of giving fighters the benefit of the doubt. And you know what? That's why we saw a great fight with a lot of drama.
Yeah, absolutely.
Put it
And
this
look,
way.
every
Go
drama,
ahead, sir. I'm
every
sorry.
great fight have drama. Every
Yes.
great fight.
Corrales Castillo.
Absolutely.
Big you just said it, Gatti Ward.
Absolutely.
What is it? Raul Marquez versus Israel
Vasquez.
Izzy Vasquez.
Yeah.
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And those were breathtaking, by the way. But yeah,
But
you're right.
that's a sport, though. That's a sport. And these are fighters, man. And you got to understand, Devin Haney is a world champion. He's not just some bum off the street. He's not that. He's not that guy. He's a world champion, and who was in shape. So you have to give him the benefit of the doubt, and that's what Harvard Doc did. He gave him the benefit of doubt and let him go. He let him continue because he's a world champion. He's not just some anybody that you just take off the street. That's not him.
Right.
And this was a big fight.
That's absolutely right. But what everyone was pointing at that looked very, and I don't know why he chose to do this, but taking the point away, hitting him on the break when it should have been called. And well, everyone's saying it should have been called a knockdown, another one. And he hit him on the break and he took a point away.
No.
And they gave him time to recover.
A referee tells you at the beginning when you're in the dressing room and he come and he give you his instructions. You know what his instructions are? I'm giving you your first warning right now. I don't have to give you another warning. They tell you that at the beginning. When they come in that dressing room to give you your instructions, that's the last thing they tell you. This is your first warning right now. I don't have to give you another warning before I take points off.
So
and that's exactly what he did.
And so this is much ado about nothing, isn't it?
It is. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Well,
the fight was what it was, and
a great fight.
If you'd have stopped the fight, right? You know how many people would have been pissed? You probably would have had a riot in there.
Yeah. Yep. Well, I tell you what, thank you for the explanation. Thank you for your thoughts, and thank you for your wisdom on this and your insight, because I am sick and tired of hearing everyone crap all over the commission and try to ruin an otherwise great event and a great fight.
Yeah, man, it was a great fight. Look, Ryan Garcia won the fight. Yeah, I think there was no doubt about that. And the outcome shouldn't have to do with what happens in between the fight.
Indeed. James, do you have anything more on this? Because we've gone over now 95 minutes, sir.
No, I mean, that's, a lot that Coach Ronnie said in reference to, the actions there of, referee Harvey Doc. It's like you said, sometimes, people got to pay attention to those instructions at the beginning of the fight. And after that, you got to be able to be aware of the rules or his rules. So if you're not
Mhm.
aware of his rules and you know what he's telling you during the fight, then yeah, you're gonna get a point taken off if you don't follow his rules.
But once again, this is almost always what you get these days when you get a bunch of mainstream and casual fans watching a boxing match. They've been seeing too many damn Hollywood movies where someone rigs the fight. That's all I have to say. And I am sick to death of it. And rather than sticking up and defending the sport, what do our diehard fans do? They pile on top, thinking that's a more intelligent way of looking at it. Guys, these guys, these officials, these judges, anyone who works for these state athletic commissions, that's the last thing they want is controversy, guys.
Absolutely.
And there it is. Last thing, once again, I know you have to go, guys. Ronnie has some traveling to do in the morning. James does too. But last one, Floyd Schofield Jr. will become a crossover attraction with a huge KO victory over Ashton Sylvie in front of a massive Netflix audience on July 20th. Boom.
That could be a fact, you know. Floyd is a really good fighter, and he has that appeal about him, and he needs a good victory like over Silva to really help him to get eyeballs on him,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and a good solid victory over a guy like this would definitely help him to get a lot of eyeballs on him.
What I can't believe is, James, aren't you shocked that they're actually giving Floyd Schofield a career high purse and a slot in front of a ton of eyeballs? Are you surprised that MVP is putting their Jake Paul's protege in the ring with Floyd?
Yeah, I am. I don't know if it's Ashton kind of like requesting something like this or what. But yeah, you don't want to put him in there against a guy of Floyd Schofield Jr.'s caliber at this particular point of his career, man. It's gonna be a very rough night for Ashton Silva, and H2O might end up getting dehydrated.
Yeah, I tell you this, in the immortal words of Teddy Atlas, he's jumping from the wading pool into the ocean. And there it is. And there it is. James, do you have anything else for the elite level badass Ronnie Shields?
No, just great conversations always here with Real Boxing with Ronnie Shields. And like I said, we're just about to prepare to go on flights over there to Vegas. I have a long flight, and I'm coming back from LA and then going back to the West Coast, man. It's gonna be crazy. So I'm just preparing for that right now.
Well, I tell you what, we want to thank you. And I'm so sorry, guys. We missed last week. So yeah, we had a lot of catching up to do. We want to thank you, Ronnie, for being on this marathon edition of Real Boxing Ronnie Shields. And we want to thank you for allowing us to invite your 154-pound phenom on the show, Vito Mielnicki. You started out the show. Guys, in case you missed any part of that, go ahead and rewind to the beginning now. But James, your parting shots, brother. Once again, we'll be looking for you in Vegas.
That's right. We'll be out there in Vegas. So, check out the undercard workouts that will be out there on tomorrow afternoon. So y'all be on the lookout for that. And check out, most of the stuff that's going on during that week, coverage of, Fight Week. Plus, I'll try to have something for the Box Fan Expo that will be Saturday morning before that fight card takes place at T-Mobile Arena.
Indeed, indeed. I'm sure you've already been in touch with Mark Abrams, right?
Oh, yeah.
Very good, very good. Ronnie, your parting shots before you depart for Las Wages, Nevada.
As always, you can follow on Instagram at official Ronnie Shields.
Guys, on behalf of one of the hardest working men in this business, J.R. Bell, and on behalf of the future Hall of Fame badass Coach Ronnie Shields, I'm little old Joseph Herron, and you've been listening to Real Boxing with Ronnie Shields. Have a great evening, everybody.
Ventures proudly presents living legend and elite level trainer Ronnie Shields.